Hello! So I am back to rank more Jolly. I have seen 24 more since the last time I did this. I'm ranking every Giallo I've ever watched. There are 3 parts I've already done. I'll link them below if you're interested. And now is the newest one, part 4. So these are the categories I made. Top favorite, worth the hype, which means worth y'all's hype or worth my hype. Solid installment, lackluster, or total flop. I also had regret watching as a category on here, but I took it off because I don't think there are any that I regret watching. I think that's all I needed to say. So let's get started. First we have the Embalmer. This was a 60s early Giallo, maybe even a pre-Giallo. It was cute, but it wasn't that thrilling. I hate to be hard on the 60s Jolly because it's not really their fault. They were trying to pave the way for us. But I'm still going to call it lackluster because there are 60s Jolly that are bangers, and this one wasn't a banger. Oh, next on the list, speaking of bangers, we have Libido. I don't remember the years of all these movies, but this is another 60s one, and it's a top favorite. It was amazing. I love it. Okay, next we have Deadly Sweet, which, now that I've had time to think on it, I almost want to put in top favorite, but I think I'm going to put it in worth the hype. This is the really trippy, absurd 60s rock and roll, Tinto brass Giallo. So yeah, worth the hype, as in worth my hype at least. Next is Death Occurred Last Night. I could have sworn I ranked this before, but I loved it. It's a really cop, Polizio Teschi type of Giallo that still was so good. So I'm putting it in top favorite. Next is The Devil Has 7 Faces. When I put this on, I was like, it has Carol Baker and George Hilton and no one is talking about it? Why? Because it sucked. So I'm putting it in, I don't know if I should put in lackluster or total flop because honestly, it was so unmemorable that I can't even remember how bad it was. But I'm going to say lackluster. Next we have Short Night of Glass Dolls, which, you know, I won't stop talking about because I love it, and that is going in top favorites. It's so cool. Next we have The Red-Headed Corpse, which is definitely interesting. So I hate to call it a total flop because it does really suck, but it's also one of those movies that's so weird that you have to appreciate it, you know? So, with love, I'm putting it in total flop. Next is What Have They Done to Your Daughters? This one is a banger. It's really good, really violent, real fun. I kind of want to put in top favorite, but I think I'm going to go with worth the hype. Next up is Death Will Have Your Eyes, which was really just a slow-paced, drama, soap opera thing. I didn't like it. It wasn't terrible. I wasn't mad that I watched it, but it did not dazzle me. So I'm going to put it here in lackluster. Next is Footprints on the Moon. It made me feel about the same way that Short Night of Glass Dolls made me feel. Very lonely, lost, hopeless, and confused. It's really good. I'm going to put it in worth the hype. Here comes my cat to knock things over. There are some very precariously placed items here on this desk. Say hi to all the nice people, not to me. Say hi to the nice people. Okay. Next we have Trhauma. This was if I recall, a 1980s movie. Oh my God, please don't. Venmo. I'm trying to be serious. This is another one that's so unmemorable. I can't really, Vinny, I can't really tell you why it was bad because like I don't remember anything about it hardly. Okay. So I'm going to say Trhauma was lackluster. I don't really feel any type of way about it, except that I am frustrated I can't remember most of it. Okay, next is The Scorpion with Two Tails, a Martino action-adventure archaeology giallo. It was so good. I loved it. People hate it. I loved it. It's going in top favorite. Okay, next is The House of the Yellow Carpet. I wasn't sure when it started. I was like, It actually turned out to be what I would call a solid installment. A pretty fun time. Oh, next is Dial Help, the Deodato supernatural 80s giallo. If it's even a giallo, who knows? It's on the list, so I'm calling it one. I loved this movie. This is another one that people hate. I loved it because it is so weird. And our lead actor is just fantastic. I loved Dial Help. So it's going right up there in favorites. And next is Fatal Frames, which I have worn into the ground on this channel as well. It is one of my top favorite Jolly ever, even though it's 90s. And so yeah, it's going up here. Top favorite. Next we have Double Face, which is another 60s Giallo hybrid. And I thought it was really, really visually pleasing. It was just pleasant. And so I would call it a solid installment. Next we have Giallo in Venice. And honestly, I feel like I can't really claim that I watched it because I watched the full moon cut, which cut out all the bad stuff. It cut out the dismemberment. It cut out a lot of the sex that I don't even really know what all I missed. The cut I watched was 1 hour and 14 minutes long. Now it was sleazy, but I think it was a good movie, even though I didn't see the good parts. So with Giallo in Venice, I'm going to call it a solid installment. Next is The Killer Is Still Among Us, an 80s Giallo that stands out from other Jolly for a couple of reasons, for certain violence that happens in the movie and also because of the ending. Those two things are what really set it apart and kind of like won me over. It's something I would say is a must-see for like a big Giallo fan or a Giallo completionist. So I'm going to put it here in solid installment, even though it did have weaknesses, such as boring characters. Next is Knife of Ice. This is one of my lesser favorites of the Carol Baker / Lindsay collection, but it was still good. I'm going to say solid installment, if I can get it to do this thing. Okay. And next we have Orgasmo, aka Paranoia, 1969. This is a top favorite. Boom. Yeah. That's probably my favorite Baker Lindsay that I've seen so far. I might have another one I have to see. Anyway, supreme. And next is So Sweet, So Perverse, which is good. I'm trying to decide on worth the hype or solid installment. I think I'll say worth the hype. We have a great cast. It's cool. Next is The Possessed. This is a 1965, like pre-Giallo in black and white. It's really cute. I would say solid installment. Look how nice I am being. Or maybe I just had a good run this time, you know? Next is The Third Eye, which I just watched this week. This is a 60s Giallo starring Franco Nero and Erica Blanc. It was good. It was good. I'm gonna say solid installment. That's what I keep going with this time. But like, a lot of these aren't like, wow, I can't wait to watch that again. But they're also ones that I think people should still see, like the Giallo fans should still see. And then the final one here is Two Males for Alexa, aka Bitterer Whiskey. I like the title Two Males for Alexa. This was really good. I'm gonna say, once again, solid installment. And there we have it. That sums up how I have felt about everything I've watched in the Giallo world lately. I'm still trying to get, Giallo's still my main focus, but I am also trying to watch other horror and other things. So I've seen 110 Gialli so far. One of them didn't make it on here. I lost one of them. I don't know which one I didn't rank. We're missing one, and I'm still trying to figure out which one it is. But I've seen 110 so far, and I love it. And in a few months, maybe I'll be back to do a part 5 ranking. So let's just holler at the favorites. What have we got up here again? Oh yeah, Libido, Death Occur Last Night, Scorpion with Two Tails, Short Night of Glass Dolls, Dial Help, Orgasmo, and Fatal Frames. Great stuff, great stuff. If you have any questions, if the title isn't showing on the image, just let me know and I'll clarify. And yeah, I didn't have anything really harsh to say about any of these movies except for the redheaded corpse. But even then, I'm not mad at the redheaded corpse. So, let me know what you would do differently here. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.